Hey everybody, it's Miriam here at Paperwheelz Studio. I am back with you today with a 3 under 30 project for you. I have 3 little clothing tags here. I got a package of these on Amazon. I saw some different creators doing various things with them, so I thought I'd get me some to play around with. They weren't very expensive, but they are very stark white. One side has a slight little coating, but that's not going to interfere too much, and the other side is very blank. I thought I could play with some of my new things that I've not yet tried, and we could grunge a few of these up with inks. I've played with inks, not embossing powders. And I have a new distress spray called Rusty Hinge, which I thought might give it a good grungy, rusty looking look to it. They might be a complete disaster, y'all. So I've not even tried to make any of these like I'm thinking I can. So we'll see how they turn out. I also have handy my heat gun. This is a 3 under 30. So once we get started, I don't want to have to, stop, get something. So I have my inks, my things for my embossing powders, a spray stain, my crackle paste. It's translucent crackle paste. Yeah, I know, we're really getting into some different things here. I have my snippets handy to reach for if I want a snippet to decorate them with. And I also have this booklet of washi stickers that there are some very tiny things that might work well on one of these somehow. So I brought this along, that way I could use that. My plan is to make these so that I could say this is my journal page. I can put it on the side as a tab, let it stick out however far, and it has a hole already punched in there. You could put an eyelet, though I didn't bring eyelets along today. I'm not going to try to do that on top of all this other. There's no way I'd be under 30 minutes if I did that. But anyway, you could hang charms and ball pens. You wouldn't even need eyelets. If you don't have eyelets or an eyelet maker, you could even just stick the ball pins on there, paper clips, whatever you would like, add a few charms, and make a neat little hanging tab dangle on your journals. So we're going to start with, I've got my walnut stain here, and I'm going to get my brown dauber, and I'm going to start with just inking these babies up with the walnut stain. We'll start there, and then we're going to see how far we get and what we can get done. I know they don't look like a lot here. It might be a little hard to see, but once I get them inked up, you'll be able to see them on that white paper. Size-wise, you're probably wondering. I searched clothing tags on Amazon. They are 2 inches tall by almost 1.5 inches wide. So if you didn't have something like this, you could cut yourself little pieces of cardstock and do the same thing I'm doing today. So I'm going to just run my dauber along them to ink them up, make them brown color here. And I'm going to go ahead and do both sides, because you'll see the backs of them when you put them in your journals, huh? Sometimes I forget that when I'm putting tabs on, but you got to remember that back side's visible. Doesn't bother some people, they do nothing to it, but the stark white really stands out to me when I use it in journals. So right, hold this down here. I probably could hold it down with my scissors and keep from getting ink all over my fingers, but if I don't have ink on my fingers, then I don't think I've done anything in my craft room. So I don't care about the ink on my fingers. It washes. The distress inks will wash off usually with soap and water. Sometimes a little bit of scrubbing. If I were using permanent inks, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Your oxides can get wet with the water. I do have, that's the other thing. I hope my spray bottle for my water isn't too far off. It might be. Oh, no, it's here on my desk. We're good. We are good. We're good. No panicking, Miriam. Alright. Need more ink on the dauber. I'm just using Distress ink in walnut stain. I also have my gathered twigs out. I think I'm going to do 2 in walnut stain. I'll do the last one in gathered twigs just for the fun of it. I'll do this one maybe a little, not quite as heavy maybe on the ink, just to have something different in them a little bit. Or you could make them all alike. Your preference. You know, grunge them as you like. If you don't like grunge, then color them with blue or pink inks and make them, put flowers on them and use the lighter, brighter inks, distress inks. I'm exploring a lot of things that will give you the grungy looks, so that's why I'm doing mine that way. Ooh, sorry. A little bit of a squeak there. Got a little bit much on that, but it's okay. It won't hurt it. Now, once I've colored these backs, I'm not going to do all the embossing and everything or anything like that on the back. I'm just going to do those things on the front. I'm just coloring the back so it'll look okay when you go to put it down in your journal, the part that sticks out. So, alright, and lastly, let's get some of this extra ink off. I hate to wipe it on regular paper, but we're going to, because I want to try to get most of the walnut stain and try using some gathered twigs on this last one. It's a little different color brown. I don't know if you'll be able to tell the difference since I'm using the same dauber, but hey, we'll see here in a minute, won't we? Hope everybody's having a nice day and getting in your craft room, getting some things done. A lot to do in the summertime, and as fall starts coming on, I love fall though. There's a lot to do, so hopefully you can still manage to get in these. The collaboration for the 3 Under 30 is for the full month of August, and it's being sponsored by or recommended. I mean, I don't know how you say that, y'all. But it's Seven Plaza and Tony at Crafty by Tony came up. They're both on Instagram and YouTube. They came up with this challenge. I think I'm gonna try if I can get enough off of here to get the lighter brown look on this one. I'm gonna try to do that. You can see a little bit of difference in the brown colors when you put them up next to each other, but you know, you guys do what you like or the color inks that you want. I did have some aqua colored embossing powder that I haven't quite used. It probably would be really pretty with using weathered wood as the background ink on it. So, alright, now I have those inked up, and I am going to give them just a little blast with my heat gun so that I ink be sure to dry and it's not going to smear on here before we start doing any kind of spraying or embossing. Alrighty, so if you don't like the noise, I'm trying to keep everything under 30. I'm not going to edit this part out. It's really not horribly loud, but if you don't like it, you can be careful when you're using your heat gun on something small to dry it, because you can't, I mean, it's coming out pretty hot. So that one's probably okay. And these other two I did probably don't need a lot of blasting by any means. I just want to give them a little spritzy with... I want to give them a little spritzy with water, and I did not want to do that without drying them. Alright, let's see what happens now if we just give them a little spritz here. This is just water. I put in a squirt bottle, and I don't want a lot. I just want a little. It changes the look of the oxide. So let me get... Oh, come on, spray. There we go. Got a little that time on that first one. Oop, a little bit too much probably on it now. Okay. I'm going to leave it as is. Hey, where did I put my tissues or something to wipe with? Here we go. I have a piece up here that has this heart. I'm going to use that to blot these off because I plan on coffee dyeing this heart doily anyway. So we're just going to lay it down on here and just soak up whatever ink wants to come up. Hopefully not all of it. Ooh, look at that. Yes. I do like that. It's absorbing the ink, but this cloth isn't super absorbent, so it just kind of smooshed it around a little bit. I'll set it up. Can you see how it did that when I sprayed the water on it? How it looks kind of marbly. I'm going to leave it that way. And I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer shortly. This one, it just kind of, where the water hit it, has lighter. See there? Isn't that just really neat? I'm not going to blot any off of it because it doesn't have puddles on it by any means. And let's see what the last one looks like when I pick it up here. Oh yeah, look at that one too. So again, I'm going to give each of these a little dry with my dryer. Didn't really end up blotting too much ink off there, did I? And we'll just put that back. I do want to get something I can use to hold these down while I dry them so I don't end up with... Here we go. Give me just a moment. Alright, I have one of my extra long needles. I'm just going to use it to hold these in place while I blast them with my heat gun for a second or two. Alright, this one just has a little drop of water. Let's see if we can get that little drop off there. There we go. Spread it around a bit. Show the water love. Now that they've dried, they look even better. Because where it was lighter, look what this one did. It grayed up where the tag, where the water hit it. So they got all various degrees of water on them now. Alright, I'm going to get a drink here because I always need a drink. Thank you. Excuse me. Hopefully that doesn't bother you. Set my water off to the side here. And now I'm going to come along with my Rusty Hinge spray. This is just one of the Distress Spray stains. I recently got this in Rusty Hinge. I really don't even know if it's going to come out orange or not. I'm going to give it a little spritz on my paper so I can see what I get first. Okay. It's like a... This kind of reminds me of the aged mahogany ink, only it's a little more redder than this is. Let me see here. I can... Yes, I can. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do the little drip technique. If you haven't seen it, you'll know what I mean in a moment. I call it that because I don't have another word for it. Where you take your paintbrush, or you can use the end of the ink spray bottle, and you just want to just kind of see if you can get it to... Well, maybe I wiped too much off there. Just trying to get it to kind of drip from my... There we go. Drip from my thing. Splatter. That's what I'm looking for. Splatter. Oh, gee. Not getting any splatter here, am I? Let's just try that. See what happens when we dry it. Might look pretty cool. I think I'll spray again because it's quite thick, but we're going to leave that one like is. I don't know, it kind of looks cool there. We'll see what happens when the heat hits it. So I don't want to take too long with these. We'll give a spritz here for these other two. Got a little bit much on that, but that's why we have extra paper here. Let's just do a blot with my extra paper and see what happens. I have 100 of these, so if I mess them up, be just fine, I guess. Oh, okay. So that still gave that a really neat effect by putting it down there and just kind of blotting it. And then here's the one that we did the, like with lines. Let's turn it upside down and see what happens when we press it down on the paper. I kind of like how that splatter looks. That's pretty cool looking. And then we have these two here. So, I'm good with that. I think I'm going to leave it at that, y'all. This is one of those times where you can't sit and waffle or debate what you've done. You just do it, and hopefully you like it at the end, right? Alright, so now we're going to be a little brave. And we're going to try a little bit of embossing. I have my embossing dabber in clear. Okay, we're going to get all of them off here at one time. And I'm just going to lay them over here on top of my ink pad, and I can pull one out at a time. I'm also going to... How do I want to do this? That's got something down in my tray. I think I'm going to just lay my paper like this. And then I can... here we go. All else fails, make it work. I think that'll be good. I just need something to collect my embossing powder. So I'm going to do these one at a time. And let me get up here where you can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking my embossing dabber. I'm not even paying attention to where it goes exactly. I'm just going to dab some along the edges. Okay. Gotta make sure we got something coming out here. It's probably, maybe not. I'm not getting anything out. So I betcha we have a seal in here that needs to be broken. Hopefully, I end up with embossing solution all over my desk. Maybe not. Maybe that's just because that's awful long down in there. All right, we're gonna see what happens here, folks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's coming out now. Oh yeah. Okay, yep, it's coming out. I can tell by looking at it. So, now that we have the embossing dabber working here, we are going to add some stuff here, just along some edges. And let's give it a dab in the center. See, we'll just see what happens here. Alright, so now I got that. I need to make sure I put my lid on this. I don't know how quickly this stuff dries up, and I don't want it all to dry up before I've had plenty of time to play with it. And I have embossing powder in rose gold and copper. I thought the copper would be really good to look almost like here's what we're going to do, y'all, because we're mask making today. So we're going to do that. Then I'm going to go ahead and dab my other two, and we'll put the embossing powder on it at the same time. So we're just going to kind of put another one in the middle there, maybe some here on each of the corners. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. Nothing planned, and you will see where this goes on. It's like, it almost feels like a clear glue kind of when you're working with it, but you can definitely see where you've put it. If it bothers you, you might want to do something else so you don't get, because that brown did come off on the top of my dabber, but it wasn't very much, and it doesn't bother me. Because that's probably where I'm going to be using most of it anyway, or things like this. So we're going to just go ahead and put that embossing powder down. Now, remember when you're embossing, you're not going to waste all that. You are going to be able to put a lot of this right back in your jar. So after you've put your embossing powder on that you want, take your little cards and just kind of do this number so that you're getting all your excess off of it onto over your paper, and the embossing powders are going to stick wherever you had your glue. I mean the stuff, whatever you want to call it. All right, scissors, you're in my way. And we're going to just lay it right there for a moment till I get my stuff the way I want it here. So we'll see how these are going to turn out, y'all. And we're doing great. Got 6 more minutes yet. Alright, the first one didn't. Put that back down in there in case there's a few spots. Yeah, there are a few spots that didn't get any that had powder or had stuff on them. Alright, so we got that one, and now we have that one. Let me get this poured back in my container before it ends up poured on the floor. Because that's what I do the best at, making a mess. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to lay these back on my mat here, or plastic tray, and we're going to hit them with the heat gun so that embossing powder can do its thing. if we have a few minutes, we'll hit it with some crackle paint as well. You know, where are you? Why not? We're probably not going to do any further decorating today, y'all. And I don't know that they're going to need it, honestly. They might just look super darn cool right how they are. So let's... Probably not a good idea to make sure your powders are all out of the way before you start heating up your tray. Alright, let's see what we get now. Ooh, oh my gosh. I didn't expect that. See what it did? It turned copper. I mean, literally copper. I honestly did not expect that. I'm not sure what I thought I was going to get, but not that. Oh wow, I like it. See how as soon as that heat hits that powder, how it turns that copper color? I think it looks super cool. This one got quite a bit on it, so let's see how it does. I mean, you can watch it turn and you know when you're done, because when it turns copper, you're done. Alright, that much we have done. Now we're going to try something new on top of it. See, that's the thing when you're working with solutions like this, you layer everything. And by layering it, you can get different kinds of looks. Now, I did have a little applicator handy that I could use with this. I don't have time to look for lost things, so don't know where it went. Here it is. Alright, I know it couldn't be far. Now I'm going to put some of this on here, and we're looking for, we want it to crackle, so we're gonna put quite a bit on the front of these, because we want it to actually crackle when we heat it up. Hopefully it'll do that and you'll be able to see what it does. So that one's completely covered. On this one, let's just cover the copper parts. We're going to do it a little differently on each one, just so you can see the differences in when you do it. Okay. And this last one, let's put more crackle on this one. We'll put the copper, of course, here and on this side. And I want like a little bit here, because I really want it to kind of crackle out that way a bit. Okay, so that's the end of that. Let's cap up my crackle, and let's blast it with heat one more time. We have 58 seconds. Ha ha ha. Alright, but I also did an introduction, so if we took my introduction off there, then we would have this under 30 minutes. Alright, so let's get this one. It doesn't have a lot on it over here by itself. And I'm going to hold it down and see what the crackle does. I'm letting that copper on this one, where I put the crackle paint on it. I'm letting it kind of bubble up because I want it to look like maybe the paint's bubbling a bit. So, yeah. I'm kind of doing that on purpose. Yeah, I want that paint to crack around like it's doing. Okay. We want you to crack here, buddy. Takes a little bit more drying with this than pop, pop. This. What are you doing? Oh, I must have got way too much there. I'm going to peel that off. We're just going to do the last one, then I'll trim that crackle that crackled too much on there off. This one, I'm just heating the whole thing. I can actually hear this. I don't know if you can hear it sizzling and cracking on here. I can hear it crackling and popping. We are at about 30 minutes now, so I am basically done. Let me turn my gun off here. So, I'll show you a little bit of a close-up of what we ended up with here. And they are, they're dry, touched, ready to go. We've got this. I don't know if you can see how that paint kind of crackled there. It's hard to see. And then we have this one. That I got way too much down here in the corner, so all I'm going to do is just use my finger, feel up what I can, and I probably will come back along and hit it with my heat gun again, just because there might be, yeah, see how it kind of peeled there? I'll come back and hit it with my heat gun again and maybe using my dauber and ink some of that up a bit before I do. Alright. Other than that, I might even leave it as is, y'all. I kind of like how it did. And then this is the very last one. Again, I'm not sure if you can exactly see the crackle part of it. It's very hard to see on here, but it has really bubbled up and giving a real, not only that has a neat texture feeling on it too. So that's basically what I have for you today, guys. If I were to add stickers or anything to this in the future, make more of them, and if I were going to decorate them, I'd put my stickers down on here before I did the embossing and the crackle paint. I think that would actually give them a little bit different look. So, there you go. Get you some clothing tags, or even tags you take off the clothing that you wear, and just play with them. Different things that you have, and just layers. Do layers and try to add different layers and see what you can come up with. Worst case scenario, it's paper or cardboard and you end up throwing it away because you messed it up. It's not the end of the world. I throw a lot of projects in my trash can. So that's what I got for you today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please come back again. And I will see you in my next video. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. We're trying to get up to that 1,000 mark, and we're only a couple months away. So need all the subscribers and likes and shares that I can get. Again, I'll see you in my next video. And bye-bye for now, y'all.